Hello students and welcome back to another video of Escobar Tutorials. Today we'll be going over how to prepare standards of red food dye stock using cereal dilutions. Some key notes before we begin is that in this video I only showed rinsing of the volumetric pipette once, but to get optimal results I'm going to require you guys to rinse it 3 times. Additionally, you must rinse the volumetric flask each time at least once with DI water. Another key note is that after making the first standard solution, please keep your solution in 2 Falcon tubes. Do not discard it or you may risk not having enough to run all tests in future labs. To begin, I'm going to show you how to properly rinse a volumetric pipette. You're going to want to start by getting some of the solution of interest and then placing your volumetric pipette in a horizontal manner to swirl around and touch all walls. Once you are done swirling, you can discard the liquid into the liquid waste container. And finally, wipe tip with Kim wipe. For the volumetric flask, you will simply have to swirl around DI water around the flask to ensure all surfaces are rinsed out thoroughly. Now we can begin. For our materials, I have 5 Falcon tubes, but I want you guys to have 6 Falcon tubes to ensure you have enough of your first standard. We also have a volumetric bulb, a waste container, a 100 milliliter flask, a 50 milliliter flask. We will also fill a small beaker with DI water for when we are getting close to the calibration mark where we use a plastic pipette. Ensure to also get a stopper. I didn't show it in this part, but please get a stopper. Now we are ready to prepare our standards. To prepare our 500 ppm solution, we will use a 25 milliliter volumetric pipette to pipette 25 milliliters of the 2000 ppm stock solution into a 100 milliliter flask. We will then fill it to the mark with distilled water, mix well, and place solution in Falcon tubes. Notice that when I am suctioning, I go above the calibration mark and then I discard the excess in the waste container. I then directly place my volumetric pipette into the flask and allow gravity to do its work. Please do not shake the last drop in the volumetric pipette, for it is accounted for when it's delivering. Once delivered, I can then dilute to the calibration mark. As I approach the calibration mark, I then use a plastic pipette and deionized water that I separated in the beginning to accurately reach the calibration mark. After putting the stopper on the volumetric flask, I then begin to mix thoroughly by flipping the volumetric flask upside down and upside right. It is now time to grab your Falcon tube and place your solution into it and label it appropriately. To prepare the 400 standard solution, you're going to use a 20 milliliter volumetric pipette twice to deliver 40 milliliters of the 500 standard solution into a 50 milliliter volumetric flask. You will then fill to the calibration mark with DI water, mix well, and place the solution into a 50 milliliter Falcon tube. Ensure to label as you go along, as you do not want to get confused on which concentration is which. For the 200 ppm standard solution, you're going to go back to your 25 milliliter volumetric pipette. You will then pipette 25 milliliters of the 400 ppm standard solution into a 50 milliliter volumetric flask. Ensure that you are rinsing both the volumetric flask and the volumetric pipette as I showed in the beginning. I know that I do not show it, but you guys are required to do so. After doing so, fill to the mark with DI water again, mix well, place solution in the Falcon tube. To prepare the 100 ppm solution, you will use again the 25 milliliter volumetric flask to deliver 25 milliliters of 200 ppm standard solution into a 50 milliliter volumetric flask. You're then going to fill the mark with DI water, swirl well, place solution in the 50 milliliter Falcon tube. I know it sounds redundant, but this is how we do cereal solutions. Finally, for our last standard solution of 50 ppm, we're going to use a 25 milliliter volumetric pipette to pipette 25 milliliters of the 100 standard ppm solution into a 50 milliliter volumetric flask. We are then again going to fill to the calibration mark. Ensure to be careful using a plastic pipette with DI water, swirl well, and then place the solution into a 50 milliliter Falcon tube. And that's it, folks. Now you have your 5 standard solutions to prepare your calibration curve using both the laboratory spectrometer and the DIY spectrometer. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day.